as a tool in order to gain mental and physical health. The danger to the students is that these professors are using Christian terminology in order to describe Eastern techniques. One of the professors who is teaching Christian meditation told us to empty our minds because we should kind of image God in this meditation.
The belief that we can create reality with our minds comes directly from the Hindu concept that everything is an illusion, or Maya. This is the new delusion in transpersonal psychology, and it's rampant even in the evangelical church today, where it's becoming increasingly popular to believe that we enhance worship by visualizing an image of God or of Jesus, that we create the answer to our prayers by visualizing what we're praying for. Creating a visual image of Jesus or God in our minds is no less idolatrous than if we made the same image out of wood or stone. Forcing God to participate in a situation or honor a desire that I have visualized in my imagination is simply a devious way of attempting to manipulate him into doing what I want without admitting it.
While infiltrating the Christian church, Eastern mysticism is also powerfully influencing world politics. Under the umbrella of the United Nations, countless New Age groups spread their philosophies worldwide. Many UN leaders, UN agencies, and the World Council of Churches with its deep UN ties promote New Age beliefs and practices. The UN has its own meditation room and resident guru, Sri Chinmoy. Even the United States Pentagon has meditation rooms. A graduate of Harvard School of Divinity, Leland Stewart, directs the Unity and Diversity Council, a powerful New Age promotional network that originated with a 1965 directive of the United Nations General Assembly.
Unity and Diversity Council is a worldwide coordinating body of what we call it individuals, organizations, and networks looking toward a time in which there will be one single organized energy of networking throughout the planet.
Under Stewart's leadership in 1982, this group linked arms with Graham Wilson's Mind, Body, Spirit festivals, forming a vast army dedicated to the merger of all religions into one, under a world leader.
I am very interested in the harmony of all religions, not just to give birth to another religion, but rather to produce, let's call it, a universal religious outlook through which there can be a new connecting of all cultures and all religions, all races.
In this growing consciousness of sharing godliness and looking for a leader to lead everyone into this new heaven, the UN plays a very important role inasmuch as it is a support system. Any group that meets to discuss these matters would be very eager and very careful to have UN sponsorship.
Our organization has been represented in the United Nations. We have an office there, and this has been going on for approximately 5 years. We've been involved in all the sessions that are going on in the UN. We've been able to watch and participate, offering meditations and presentations.
How is this possible? I think it became possible by the thought and actions of one man in the UN, Robert Mueller, who was continuously emphasizing that the UN has to be a support system to this conditioning of man, to this sharing desire, to this looking for a one world government, for one world leader, and playing down, and I believe myself correctly, that the UN is not that world government, that is a conditioning device, that it is an aid, a support system. It gives prestige to otherwise completely outlandish groups.
The Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University in India is used by the UN and its members for conferences focusing on world peace and unity.
Delegates from all over the world, VIPs, are attending to express their ideas and to experience peace in a very real way themselves. This experience will enable them also to draw up new laws for universal peace. This will be endorsed by heads of state and submitted as a practical reform for the United Nations.
Many evenings, the UN building is even used for lectures, talks, meditations, enlightenments on how to make one better world. The leaders are asked to meditate and be involved because this is part of their instruction or brainwashing, and all this is part of the conditioning for the vision of a new world or of a new age.
This guruistic system in politics is very dangerous for our democratic society. It will at least bring a loss of freedom, a loss of security, and a big danger for all mankind. So I believe Guruism is preparing the world for some political fascism too.
Actually, we're being prepared for this surrender to an authority in a way that perhaps we don't realize. We are going through right now strange bathing in Eastern concepts of consciousness, states of consciousness, bliss, reincarnation, energies, vibrations, all of these words that have become very commonplace really in the Western languages are also modifying our mind. They are changing our way of thinking. And this changed way of thinking puts us into a mental state, if you'd like, and prepares our intellectual functionings for this surrender.
More than ever before.
Welcome back to Truth Seekers. If you have any thoughts on what you've just seen or any other comments, questions, the phone numbers are up there and you can give us a call anytime you like. Jay, we were talking while that film was running that, you know, according to Scripture, we don't need a methodology to hear from God. God is not barred from entering our mind anytime he wants with thoughts. He can do it. He's created us. He can do anything he wants. And that's the way he works sometimes. He'll just put a thought into your mind anytime. You don't need to go into Eastern thought, alter your state of consciousness, which is warned against in the Old Testament as well as the New Testament. In the Old Testament talks about casting of spells, charming.
Divination.
Yeah, because what you're doing in an altered state of consciousness, which I used to do, I mean, my friend built an alpha wave machine back in 1971, biofeedback machine, and we learned how to generate alpha waves and change our brainwave patterns and go into these states because we'd read Timothy Leary and Baba Ram Das, Richard Alpert of Harvard University, talking about how rather than using drugs, you can get into a natural state to kind of get your mind expanded and understand what's going on in the cosmic all of creation and existence. And so we would do that kind of thing. So that goes way back for me, but so many Christians are now getting into it, and Rick Warren is promoting it through many people, as is Robert Schuller, his mentor. But there was that scripture we were talking about that I was wondering, and if you have any other comments relating to that too, but Scripture speaks to this in general.
Well, you know, everything we do, Mike, in our life, we should be able to objectively set it against an absolute. And so that's the only way we can base everything that we learn and pick up, is if we have an absolute, then we weigh it against that absolute. And we have the absolute, and this Creator has given us an absolute. And in fact, he covers everything you want that we deal with in this world, in this absolute word of his. And this is how we know his word is absolute, in the way he communicates with us is absolute. It says in 2 Timothy, it says, all Scripture is given by inspiration of God, and it is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, thoroughly equipped in every good work. So if we want to have wisdom, if we want to know absolutes, if we want to walk in the truth, we have the Scripture. And all we have to do is seek it with our heart, and he will reveal himself to us. And that's what he's done to Mike and I in our search for truth, in our walk through life. You know, me being deceived and raised Catholic, thinking that the Catholic Church was the only way to God, but yet it didn't guarantee me